But yeah, man, welcome back to the Snake Trap Sessions. I am so excited to be back. On these mean streets of New York. You feel me? New York. What is good, everybody? It's your boy MJ up in the building. Welcome back to another episode of the Trap Vlogs. If this is your first time tapping in, do your boy a favor, hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, that way you're on top of every single vlog. But I'm tapped into the East Coast with my boy Andrew Acevedo. We're going to my man John's house of Sim Container. We just had an amazing podcast last night. Go down the link, check that out. Hope you're into the monitor shit, because we're about to tap into some serious lace monitor game, Dwarf monitor game, all monitor shit. If you guys are ready, hold on tight because it's about to go down. Gee!
By the way, because there was some animals you didn't get to see yesterday, right?
John from Sim Container in the building.
Thank you.
Hey, amazing episode last night.
I agree.
It was a hit.
Good time.
So we're inside your monitor room right now, right?
We are. Mostly lace monitors, so let's take a look. Put your camera in this cage. Lean right in. This is one of my male breeders is in this cage. He's sticking out of the hole that way.
So you have
this is
separation
like a narrow
here.
cage, but it's got a lot of climbing ability, and it actually has a built-in nest box, but it's covered.
Okay.
So
this is the nest box right here?
Yeah, there's a nest box here. It's leaf litter substrate. Once in a while, I will hose the cage with on a spray just to get some humidity up, and wash the windows because they do make a mess sometimes.
Buddy.
So yeah, that's Mr. Pink. He's incredible, and he's about
guy.
6 feet. Hatched by Don Church 3 years ago.
Hey, buddy. How are you?
He's a good boy
Hey,
for the
buddy.
most part.
So temperate overall with your adult laces. I mean, you don't handle these at all, do you?
I know, but if I have to grab them, they don't really put up too much of a fight. They don't really care that much. The females are a little more nervous around me. Like these males come right up to me and they're always thinking to have food. So.
Hey, Mr. Pink. How you doing,
Yeah,
buddy?
he is gorgeous. He has blue lips. He has his base colors like pink and peach.
Now, would you say this pink line of lace is like something that will reproduce with his babies and whatnot? From what
Yeah,
you've seen?
I think it will. I mean, his babies right now that are in the cage behind us are clean as well. And the mama that's in here, her name is Lacey. And she's the same age as him. Different clutch, but also one of Don's babies. And she's about 4 feet long, 3 years old. And my best breeder as far as lace go. And he's an incredible breeder male. 3 years old.
Monster.
He can live 40 years.
The female
lives.
stays over
Yep.
there? Okay.
So this cage is kind of interesting because it's 9 feet long, but it's kind of narrow. It's only about 3 feet deep, but it's 6 feet tall, or maybe a bit more. And it has 3 windows.
Right.
Because the opening, I wanted to be able to get into this cage and interact with them in a better way. Because I used to have these low cages with narrow windows and very high dams with lots of substrate, and it's hard to get in there and work with the animals.
Right.
So by opening it up and reducing the amount of substrate, but making sure I had my nesting covered, allowed me to interact with them in a different way.
Got these windows where? What type of windows are these? I'm
These
sure people
are
are trying to ask. What are
double insulated, vinyl wrapped windows at a local glass shop.
Okay.
A window supplier, basically.
And you just have them on tracks for
They're
them to
on metal
slide?
tracks that you get at Home Depot, really cheap. I just use metal snips to make it fit. And this is a storm window actually, and I just framed it. I wanted to fit it in the room on an angle because I wanted to be able to open it up in a way that it flows nice.
Right.
So you have a side window that does not open, but you can see right in.
Right.
And you got these 3 windows and they all open. Like if I have to get in the cage on this side,
You
I'm
need to
able
get in there, right.
Yeah, and close it off. At one time, this wall was full of big pieces of driftwood.
Right.
They're really strong lizards, and they pull it off eventually. So, whatever's hanging on the wall still is probably the original.
And they're very arboreal as well.
Very.
Right.
Yeah, they're up in the air a lot.
Size preference with an enclosure. Do you think it's wiser to have an enclosure be taller versus wider with a lace? Like, do you think they prefer more space to go up versus to go across, or what?
I think if you give them the space to climb, they'll certainly use it. If you don't have the ability to go high, at least give them a cage that's climbable. Like all the walls are lined with something, either like a rock wall formation or lined with cork to get them up.
Right.
They're not always terrestrial. They do climb a lot.
So this is the female side.
So this
here.
is the female's cage, right? And this little door here,
So, yeah,
I literally
close,
just
shut,
pull the
close.
screws out and open it up for them. And so I took the light bulb out because it was too warm in here. And this is not their primary basking area.
Okay.
The other side of the cage is. So I didn't want to overheat this side of the cage because her nesting down here would be affected. So
Right.
it's an adjustment. So and this is what I was talking about yesterday. I do make adjustments. If I feel my ambients are too high, and they have access to the 2 cages next to each other, I'll reduce the basking in one cage so that they go to one cage to bask. The other cage is going to be for nesting. Nest box is over there. It's just a 27 quart.
Where is the female? Is she in the nest?
No, she's actually hiding out in that
there,
tube.
I see her tail right there. That's awesome.
Yeah, he was probably bothering her, and she
She's
went into the
trying to
tube to hide from him. These tubes they're good. I mean, you just lay them around in the cage, and it's just a quick escape for her. You know what? The males, they'll just bother these girls.
And it stresses out at some point.
Right.
And I even heard some people go to not even eating at some point, right?
Sometimes they get so stressed out, but these lace are like they're tough lizards. You push around the males too, so
And I understand.
there's no biting with them.
From what I understand, your floor is also has heat as well, or it's
Yeah, I have heat mats underneath these cages. Just one heat mat on one side in each of these cages, just to warm the floor, because I am in a basement. And if the floor was cold, say if the floor was like 65, 70 degrees all the time, and they're laying around on that's when you have problems with gout, I'm finding. So by keeping the floor warm, you don't have the gout if it was going to develop. My animals don't develop gout, and we're talking Ackies and everything else that I've kept here.
one pair of your laces.
Yeah.
This is the other side of the laces.
Yeah.
That other pair of laces where they stay on this side of the room.
Yeah.
So same setup, right? Just
Same setup, vinyl wrapped glass doors, climbable walls. This cage is separated from this cage here with a glass door.
Right.
It's a window actually. It's a Home Depot sliding window with a lock.
Okay.
So then after they mate, about a week later, after the mating ceases, I'll try to separate them, and the male will stay in this cage, and she has her own cage with the nesting. This way, he doesn't bother her, because males are, dopey, and they just want to fool around.
Is there a period where you see the locks and then it stops, and that's when you say, okay, I'm going to take them out? Okay.
Exactly.
So when there's no more mating behavior, that's a good sign to just go and remove them.
Right. When she's starting to like flee from him,
Right.
then I know it's over. She's not receptive anymore, and he doesn't need to be with her anymore. He'll continue to try to mate her regardless, but if she doesn't want any part of it, I make sure he's out of the cage.
And this is Scar?
Yeah, he's probably 6.5 feet. Also one of Don's captive bred lace. 3 years old. He's a really big guy.
Some awesome courting and mating going on from what we can tell, right?
Yep, and that was going on for a few days, and now today, like nothing.
So so when would you maybe pull him then? Or are you gonna wait?
Soon.
Are you gonna wait?
I'm gonna see what happens when she comes back out. If she doesn't like kind of lead him on, because she'll kind of
what
like walk slow,
right? Yeah.
and kind of lift her tail
Like,
base
hey,
and
follow
wait
me,
for him.
follow me. Yeah.
If she stops all of that, I know that it's over.
Okay.
And then I'll lock him out of the cage. I'll give them another day or so I can see what they're doing. After the mating, then she's gonna hang again. She's gonna climb on the wall, on the cork wall in the back
and
over
blow
there,
up a little bit.
and she will be shaped differently. She'll be like
an oval.
Like an oval, yeah,
Right.
almost like a bell. The bottom of her is gonna be sticking out. She'll have like a beer belly. Digging is after that.
After that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's why you gotta be on top of your nest, because you can't say, "Oh, I'll do it tomorrow," because if you forget,
Oh, it takes that one day
you
to mess
gotta
up.
get on your shit when it comes to nesting.
Yeah.
And cover your nesting and make sure that it's ready for her. They don't want to nest in anything dry, And nesting material doesn't have to be so overthought.
Right.
If you're using dirt, that's fine. It should be a certain consistency and temperature.
Right.
They're gonna look for something in the mid 80s. They're gonna look for something damp and compressed. And when they dig in it, it's not loose.
Right.
Because when it's loose, they get frustrated, and then they lay somewhere else in the cage on the ground.
Right.
And maybe they held on too long,
Right.
waiting for you to, or looking for a proper
right
nest
place.
site. Then they want that's what really kills them. So you got to make sure your nesting is right to get those eggs out in one shot, and you don't have to worry about it.
How many lace clutches are you looking to have in
Well,
2023?
if I can, I'd be happy with 2 clutches per female. I know I'll get more than that, but if I can hatch 2 clutches, I'll be very happy. I'm not greedy, I also don't want to house and feed all of these things.
Because it comes with work. As much as it's awesome to
and
produce
this is
something.
a very, very high-end lizard that, there's not a gigantic market for them. I mean, people love them, but they're not willing to spend the money.
Yeah.
And these are clean bells, so I gotta ask a lot of money for them.
Message!
And who are you?
I don't know.
Aren't you the sim container?
Yeah.
Yeah? Well, who's he then?
Not the actual one. I do a lot of the business, so he got a little left out. I'm the one.
I got left out. I'm the one.
I'm the one.
Oh my gosh, the future is awesome. Good job,
The
Natalie.
future is awesome. Look at this. The primordials are out.
Oh, right. Now, John, this is room number 2?
Yeah, this is room number 2.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
So awesome.
All right, so here, first things first, check out these these are adult primordials. So we have the female, and we have the male. She's about 1 foot long. So these are really small monitors. And these are 2-year-old animals that are full grown, and they're breeders at this size.
Wow, this is so neat.
Yeah, I hatched a few clutches last year, so hopefully this year, coming up in the spring, I get more action. They're really great. They're genetically related to Ackies and Storai. Temperature is about 120,
Okay.
and the rest of the cage is in the 80s, and it's maybe in this like 70-ish over that way. And a little nesting tub. This is cocoa peat and sand mix.
It's same concept as far as like compact and moist and all that stuff.
You should be compact and moist. So here we have,
That's White Girl.
this is White Girl, and she is a top ender Ackie, and this is her boyfriend.
Top ender.
Yeah, so
What does
these are
that mean? What
Northern
does that-
Territory locality Ackies. It's not a yellow Ackie, and it's not a red Ackie. It's an Ackie that has.
Can I hold her?
You want to hold her? That's okay. This is an old girl. She's like 8 years old.
It's beautiful. Let's check her out.
So she has a lot of like
Nice
really pretty
white
white
spots.
ocelli down the back. And one of the features of them is that white stripe or those white chunky spots down the back. And I'll show you that on another example that I have. The Cyclops Mountain locality bluetail monitors. They don't have that big bulky nose like the sarong type bluetails that come in.
Right.
So these have like a longer head down the back with that blushing. Like peach color blushing on the sides.
Right.
And then all this ocelli and things in here. And they change a lot, but they stay pretty. The young male top ender. And as you can see, he has the white ocelli down the back. It's kind of like a squiggle, and long neck stripes, and they're kind of like a rose gold color, and this is like a blue-gray stripe on their back. And he's a young boy. This is a very tolerant species, so easy to work with, handles mistakes well. They're easy to breed, they're easy to figure out. If you make some mistakes, they kind of, give you a free pass a few times. Male raise up red Ackies.
Whoa, that's awesome.
Beautiful. Call him Giraffe because he's got these big giraffe spots with a red base and then black centers and those weird white ocelli. Kind of different. And his front arms are yellow. He's really beautiful. He's got the yellow stripe on the neck, but this is a red Ackie.
Yep.
This is a different lineage of red Ackie. This is the pineapple. It has like a red base with little ocelli with the black dots, and she's a recent breeder. Well, she's pineapple and half giraffe, but and the male is a giraffe type red. Right. And then her babies are like half giraffe and half pineapples. They're absolutely stunning. So these babies are the pineapple giraffe spot reds. These are a couple of months old. I haven't sold them. I'm just raising these up. Sometime in 2023, I'll hatch more and sell them. But these I want to raise up and see what they turn into.
Oh, sweet. Because
I think they're going to be amazing. Because the mom is like that pinkish red base,
right,
and the dad has those big spots with the white, the black ocelli.
So these are your holdbacks then?
So these are some holdbacks, yeah. And I think they're really, really pretty. First, I want to show you this girl. So this is a female top ender named Cupcake, and I named her that because she looks like that Hostess cupcake swirl down her back.
Right.
And she's really sweet. So she's like the quintessential top ender. She's got the big chunky spots, the long neck stripes, very, very similar to what's found in the Northern Territory near like the Katherine region, the Katherine area of Australia. See those long neck stripes?
Yeah, it's like this.
And they're kind of like...
Just like a cupcake.
Yeah. And these spots down the back. Oh, she's beautiful.
Should have named her Hostess.
Yeah, could have. So this is from a different pairing of top enders. So these two, now you can see that nice chunky spotting down the back and the long neck stripes. These two came from the father was the top ender male that I took out. He was over here. And the mom was the girl named Cupcake. So this one's starting to develop that squiggle down the back. They're so pretty. They only get better with age, too. This is, pet trade name, Papuan Spotted Tree Monitor, otherwise known as Varanus similis. So it does have a small range in Papua New Guinea, but the majority of the range is in Australia, in Cape York area. And there's a lot of variations with this species.
So this is like an Australian tree monitor.
It is. It's an Australian monitor they're actually related to Scalaris.
Okay.
Which is another Australian species. We don't have them here in the States. And all of these Scalaris and Similis, Paluensis, they're all related to Timor monitors, Offenburgi. They all have the round tail, Tristis monitors. But Similis are beautiful because they're black and white. Sometimes they have pink on the back.
This is beautiful.
This one's beautiful.
How big does this get?
Females about 18 inches. Males maybe a little bit bigger.
It's not that big.
No, and they hurt like hell when they bite. There's definitely something floating around in their saliva.
And you haven't been bit by a tree monitor yet, like a green tree monitor or anything?
No, not a green tree, but Similis,
yeah,
they make you, regret it.
That's beautiful, man.
This is a beautiful one. So there's very few people in the States working with these. Mike Stefani and I are kind of having like a friendly competition who could breed them first. I'd be happy if he did it. I'm sure he would be happy if I did it. One of those species, this has never been bred in the United States before, so...
It's a huge one.
Yeah, if I could figure these out, it'd be great. I don't think they'll be too difficult. We'll see. I'm going to try next year. Is a full-grown dwarf monitor.
This second smallest?
No, it's not, but it's, one of the top 10 smallest. This is Varanus glauerti, otherwise known as the Kimberley Rock Monitor, and they're built.
Look how beautiful
They're
that is,
built
man.
for rock walls and rock crevices. They got that flat head to squeeze into things. This is an elegant, beautiful monitor lizard. One of my favorite species. They got this really amazing ring pattern tail. Really long tail too. Full grown, maybe 27 inches, maybe a little more. maybe a little less, somewhere in that range. They're way bigger than Ackies, though. I bred and hatched them in 2011, 12, and 13, and I just received a pair last year to work with, so I just raised her up. They're usually like a reddish and bluish gray. I'm pretty sure this is a female based on her pattern. The pattern is way more crisp, and the female is like a little cloudy and dull, but the males are beautiful. But she's got the silver neck, the yellow throat, and they are, in the wild, they eat a lot of lizards. They catch a lot of geckos. I'm pretty sure they eat other small monitors too. Some monitors, like green tree, blue tree monitors, Glebopalma and other Australian monitor species, and Kimberley rocks, they have these pads on the bottom of their feet that they feel kind of rubbery when you rub them. It feels like they're wearing like lizard sneakers.
Oh, wow. It's like it's grip.
That's grip. This is actual grip. A lot of monitors here and elsewhere in captivity have a line down the bottom of their tail for a little distance, like from here to here. The Similis have it. Kimberley rocks have it. Maybe some Ackies have it. I think they use it for scenting. I think there's some scenting glands on their tail, and when they rub their tail on the rock surface or a log, they leave their scent, and then another monitor will know that this territory is claimed, or maybe it's a female looking for a mate. She might be rubbing her tail base. I had female water monitors walk around my apartment when I was younger, and they'd be, rubbing their cloaca on the ground and their tail on the ground. I'm pretty sure this whole area is
That's what it's for.
full of scent glands.
Hey guys, that's all we have on this episode of the Trap Vlogs. I'm with the CEO of Sim Container. I gotta say thank you for letting me hang out in your place.
Yeah.
But guys, we'll see you here next week for another episode of the Trap Vlogs, and we're out. Chee! Thank you for watching this week's Snake Trap Sessions vlogs. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Drop me a comment. If you're looking for exclusive Snake Trap Sessions content, make sure you go down to the link below, join the Trap Talk Patreon family for all exclusive content, and to join the Trap Talk Discord. I'll see you guys here next week. Cheers!